Hello everybody, welcome back to another diecast video. This is not a review, but this is actually going to be a first time I've done one of these, and it's going to be kind of like a Sunday special. Well, it is a Sunday special, but today what we're going to be doing is taking a look at not just my personal favorites and what I think of it, but we're going to go into the value or the rough estimate value of some of the cars within my collection. And today we're just taking a look at the Chase Elliott raced versions. So what does this include? This includes everything that has come out as a Phoenix from 2020. So that does not include the 2021 Bristol Dirt Car, the 2021 Road America, or 2021 I'm trying to think of the name of it. Where did he win second time of the year? Road America, Coda. So it doesn't have any of his 2021s. Those are not out yet. And then also does not include the Checkers or Wreckers car from Martinsville of 2017. But everything else will be included. And we're going to go from kind of the lowest to highest. I have things kind of searched up as of right now. Today's date is November 27th. So this is the values as of November 27th, 2021. You know, barring up and down a little bit, this is just the best estimate I could find. So let's dig into it. Let's go ahead and get in. If you do enjoy, thumbs up, all that fun jug. But let's get into it. So the first car on the list for the Chase Elliott raced versions is going to be his truck from 2020. Now, the reason this one is the lowest as of right now is probably pretty simple. It's one of the newer cars, and I will spoil the video already. Most of the 2020s are in this range, and the reason for that is just because they're new. They haven't sold out. They're not running out. Here's what I do know. All of them, literally all of them, once they have reached past, they've gone up. I mean, every single one of them. So that means most of these 2020s in a year or two will probably be worth at least more, and to some degree, I don't know how much. But I just wanted to point that out, that all of them have tended to go up, but everything at the bottom end right now is from the 2020 season because it hasn't had time to grow in value. But this car specifically, checking some pricing on it and stuff, it looks like it kind of averages around $60 right now. So not bad. I think the truck starts out new at like 52 or something like that. So it has gone up just a smidge, as did the other Charlotte Win. Those have started. Those were the first ones out, so those have gone up a little bit, but it hasn't been enough that it's super noticeable. So that one's kind of lower on the totem pole. It is a truck. That also hurts the value a little bit compared to a cup car or something. But that one is sitting at about $60 right now. Now the second one on this list is actually going to be the All-Star car. This one has actually stayed a little bit below the normal value, and I think part of that is, first of all, it's an ugly paint scheme. Really good race damage. I'm a Chase Elliott fan and all. I love the race damage on this thing. Looks really good. Really cool looking damage. But the paint scheme is just ugly. But anyway, so the value on that is sitting at around $80 as well right now. Some are probably getting discounted as people try to run out of stock of them. So, don't take too much stock in these prices for the 2020s because they haven't had enough time to really move up or down at all. So anyway, that one is going to sit at around $80. I'm going to need some more room, I can promise you that. The next one on this list is going to be the 2020 Daytona Race. Now, this one I think will actually stay fairly low, and the only reason I say that is it is very bland. Not a lot of stuff to it. Now, to be fair, it is a race win from Daytona. Those do tend to have a little bit better luck, but in general, not a lot of detail with it, and so I have this listed at $90, basically brand new. $89 is what they cost, so they're still at normal price, is what I'm saying. So with Daytona, we also are going to have in here the Roble Car. That one is also going to be sitting at normal. They just came out. Most are still in stocks in a lot of places, including RAS Diecast. Plug, shameless plug. But yeah, so as of today, they're still in stock everywhere, so those are also sitting at $90. Next on the list is going to be the Martinsville Car. Same situation here, sitting at $90, most of them still in stock, so that one's not going to be super bad. Now here's the one I will say. This is the Phoenix car right here. That one is sitting at $95, I have it listed at, and it is still $90 in some places. However, I have noticed they are disappearing faster, so I do think the Phoenix car has the biggest potential, and that's how I listed them. So I had them all at 90, this one at 95, but the biggest thing is that I'm noticing is I think the Phoenix has the potential to be the most valuable. So again, always collect what you like, but if you are someone who hopes to kind of get some grails, I think this one has the best shot of being a grail. Yes, they made a bunch of them, but Homestead wins / now Phoenix wins are very popular in that way. So yeah, I think this one, again, I have it listed at 95 as far as the approximate value, but I think that one has the best chance of going up. Now the next one on this list, once again, 2020, this is the one from the Charlotte oval race that ran on Thursday night, the All-Sco 300. Very basic race one, nothing crazy, but this one is actually at 100, so it has gone up a little bit. Biggest reason is probably because these came out 6 months before the rest. So in 6 months, I'm sure some of those will be up to 100. It just depends on how soon they sell out. You also have to remember this was polled and the official production numbers were official before he won the championship, where once he won the championship, I'm sure those Martinsville and Phoenix wins and all those production numbers started to move upward. As a matter of fact, I should probably have looked at that to see what the exact number for production was, because that also does determine sometimes what the value can be. I don't have any of the boxes with me because I already have enough cars if you haven't seen. But yeah, so that's where that one will line up. As I said, it has already gone up a little bit, but I think most of that is just due to the fact that it's older than the rest of the 2020s. I do think it will go up still, but I think the Phoenix will eventually pass it just because of the significance of it. So anyway, that'll pretty much round out our 2020s. So those were literally the entire top half of the group. I'm just going to slide them back off to the side because I have a bunch of other cars to show. So I need to make sure I have room so I can show you guys all these cars. So the next car, and the first one that we really have a lot of movement on, and when I say movement, what I'm referring to is price movement. The first one to really show signs of going up or down, or, well, up. All of them went up. But the first one of these is actually going to be the 2019 Watkins Glen win. This car, from what I have seen, I believe the Watkins Glen I had listed or showed that it's at about 150. Again, these are just what I can see from eBay sold listings, so I'm just kind of averaging it out. Some of them I didn't see, but I saw ARCs, and so I kind of had to guesstimate. But yeah, about 150 is what I've seen these been going for, but I don't see very many listed, which means that was one that sold a month or so back. No more are for sale. Could be higher just because, again, one that sold in September and none have been online since. Someone could list it right now. It goes for over 200. It just depends. That's how diecasts are. But the last and most recent one that I could find was about 150. So the Watkins Glen has gone up to the 150 mark. Man, honestly, beautiful car. I love the metallic blue on these Napa cars. After seeing all these 2020 cars, I think the 2019s look better. So next on the list is going to be another car that clocks in at about 150, and this one is a total guess because I didn't see any elites for the dual win from 2018, but I did see an ARC that was running up around 150. So I think the elite would at least go for 150. Again, same situation as the Glen win though. None of them were on there. I think that could easily be a $200 car, maybe 175. It just depends. But that's just one of those things that, you know, because of the way that these cars are produced, you just don't know. And, you know, the market resets as it becomes harder to find. So being they're non-available, it could be higher. That's just the most recent that I've seen it at. So if you're doing any math so far, Chase Elliott has been a good investment so far, but that is all pre-championship. So I don't know what happens post-championship, you know, if they wake way too many or something. But because the sport has been growing from its kind of downward spiral, the more fans that come in, the better, you know. So the next car on this list is the Dual Win Elite from 2017. Now this one I have clocked at 175. I believe it was running at 130 to 150 in ARC. I think the Elite would at least pull 175, if not 200. Again, same situation as the ones before. No Elites had been listed where I could see them. So no sold listings in Elites. So that is just, I literally wrote down the number of the ARC and just kind of did my guesstimates on that. So that's where I came up with that number, 175. I, again, could very easily be over the 200 mark. So the next one on the list is going to be the 2015 Rocky Ridge Custom Trucks car. This is an ARCA, I believe it was an ARCA car. It looks like a late model, judging by the way the exhaust comes out. But this car was, I did see a sold one on that. 170 was what I saw this car had sold for most recently. I don't think it was autographed or anything. Yes, it wasn't autographed. I intentionally leave autographed cars out. So, but yes, 170 was what this one had gone for. I mean, it's a Gen 4 car. Supposed to be a late model, looks pretty good. It's a raced version. That's, you know, it's had plenty of time, so that's probably where it's going to stay or somewhat stay. Again, could go up as the sport continues to grow, if it does. It also could shrink if, you know, the sport loses a bunch of popularity or something. So, but yeah, so that one's sitting at currently about a 170. Next on the list, let me make sure I got the right one coming next, because I had my numbers a little out of order here. I do have them out of order, so I got to grab my 2014 Chicagoland Elite. I do have it in here. Got to reach in. There we go. There we go. So there is the 2014 Chicago Elite. That one has clocked in at about 175. Same situation as before, though. No Elites. I did see an ARC that went for around that. I believe the Chicago would pull about 200, if not 225, 250. Again, all of this is depending on demand. It's literally a guessing game, but that's why I'm guessing and trying to give you guys the best number I can. Now, when I say these numbers of 200, 270, these are usually the sold listings or the approximates. If you see them under that, they're probably a good deal. If you see them much, like way too far over that, probably not a good deal. But again, that's all based on demand. So, you know, some of these values can change, especially in a month. It could be worth less or more, just depending on how the market flies. So 175 is what the Chicagoland has been valued at in, I believe, ARC. So the Elite might be a little bit higher yet. So the next one on the list is going to be the 2017 truck. Now this one I'm pretty confident. This one was at 180. I saw 2 sold listings at that number, and neither of them were autographed or anything. So I do think that one's probably pretty steady right there. It's really high for what I remember. I mean, I got this one a long time ago and obviously never looked back, so I haven't seen what they're worth or what they've been going for. But this one, from what this listings have showed, 180 was on the high end. But there were at least a couple of them on there. Again, same situation as a lot of these cars, though. How many are available is the real question. So, but it has clocked in at the 180 mark, so I'm just going to give you that number. But again, it doesn't mean 180 is a really good steal price or anything like that. It just means that's what the last couple have gone for that I've seen. So next on this list, let's see here. Did all those? We're going to go ahead and do the 2014 Texas Win. Now, this one is the most... I want to say oddball, because this one is his first Xfinity win, and I found an Elite sold listing for 175 online. Just one, though, and it only had 2 bids, which made me think that it might have been a listing that got ended, like somebody ended the listing early, because 175 is really cheap. I've seen these cars go for over 300 before. So I'm going to just put the number at 175 to 300 because I've seen them all in that range. And 175 with only 2 bids tells me that I think they ended the listing early. So we didn't get a true full picture of, you know, what the actual value was. I think the seller may have ended it for an offer or something like that. So again, 175 is what it went for, but I do think this one is higher. I think it's going to be closer to 250, if not 300, because I know that's what they were going for before he won the championship, and everything kind of went up. But again, only one sold listing, and with so few bids, I think it may have been one of those situations. So the next one on this list is going to be the 2019 Roble Car. Now this is an interesting car because I actually had a few of these, and they didn't move super fast right away, but as time goes on, it got popular, boo, disappeared, and then they became really hard to find. So what I've seen online, the most recent for the Elites, now again, let me preface it, all of these cars that are available in Elite, I have an Elite. So that is what I am pricing on, not ARC. If you're thinking ARC pricing, don't listen to any of the ones I've said unless they're the truck or the Rocky Ridge car. All these other cars are Elite that I have said in this video so far, so I want to make sure you're clear. Because I did see some ARCs on this that were a little lower, but the Elite was going at around 200. So could go up or down 20 bucks or so, but for what I've seen, the Elites tended to trend around the $200 mark. ARC's probably a little bit lower, but that seems to be where these are at, 200. So I'm about halfway, a little over halfway through, and I'm already at 200, and I got bad news. Every other car for the rest of this list is higher. So that is the benefit of pre-ordering and getting the car you want right when it comes out, because every car I've showed today has been above market. Some of the 2020s are a little below, some, but every other car, especially after a year or two, is up. So if you think you're going to, sit out, I'll wait a year or two to get it. It hasn't worked out very well so far. So I would highly recommend getting your hands on one within the first 6 months of it being released, because after that, the price goes up. Throat was getting dry. Anyway, so yeah, 200 is what that one has been trending at for the Roble car. Now let's see what the next one is here. I believe, yes, Richmond. No, wait, is it Richmond? No, it's not. Sorry. Give me 1 second here. I have them a little out of order. So yes, the next one on the list is actually this one, the 2018 First Win Sun Energy car. Now, the reason that this one is probably going to stay at around this number, this one was way overproduced because it was such a big win. So super popular, obviously, gets his first win. They made a boatload of these cars, so definitely not a huge risk as far as it going too high because of how many they made. But that being said, it's already up to the 225 mark. I don't think it should go too much higher, but I also didn't think it would reach above market value at any time. I thought it would always be low because of how many they made, so I was wrong. So, again, 225 is what I saw this trending in the Elite car at. So, again, 20, give or take $20, that's about the fair price range you're going to be seeing. So next on the list, another car that was showing at the 225 mark. Let's see, here we go. Was this car. And this one I actually did have a full sold listing online. So the 2014 Darlington Elite did show 225 online, bunch of bids. So it looks like it ran its course and, finished. So I'm pretty confident in that number. The 225 is about where that one will be. Again, same situation though. If I went to buy an Elite right now, probably I'm not going to see one online. So that situation is basically make sure if you can find one or you're desperately looking, don't be afraid. And this has always been my opinion. If I'm looking so desperately for this car and its average trending price is $200, but I can't find one for 6, 8, 10 months, none of them are listed, then one finally pops up, I am willing to pay 20 to 30 over what I think it's worth, because I don't know if I can catch another one, or I don't know when I'll catch another one. Now, generally they do come back up for sale eventually, but in some cars, they're a lot higher by the time they come back. So that's the situation. But again, 225 is what it was at on the online site there. So that's just kind of what I've pegged it as on there at least. So the next one is going to be, I got to go back down the list, 244. Yes, 244. Now, this 244 was a non-autographed ARC, or I think it was an autographed ARC, but this is the Richmond Elite, one of the lowest production numbers of any Chase Elliott win. Actually, the lowest production number, I think, of any Chase Elliott race win. And obviously, the Homestead wasn't a win, so, put that in a different spot. But, yeah, so 245 was what I saw at an autographed ARC. I think the Elite would probably pull higher than that. There was one that went for 500, but that was a DIN number 1. So I don't think that's accurate. I think most of these would probably go, 270 to 300, maybe higher, but I think that's about where it'll go. That being said, funny story, this is DIN number 2. So DIN 1 went for 500. Does that mean he'll take DIN 2 for the same amount? Doesn't mean I'm selling unless he's got another DIN. I don't care about my DINs that much, so if someone said, hey, I want DIN 1, I'll give you a perfectly good replacement Elite and $200, I'll take it all day, So yes, anyway, that one, 244. Now the next one is going to be at 245. I think, again, I'm nitpicking a little bit, but this is a 2018 Dover car. This one actually became kind of a unicorn, oddly enough, after the Kansas one did. So the Kansas one got really hard to find, kind of overnight. All of a sudden, that thing just went up in value. No one could find them, and all of a sudden, they became a hard, really expensive car. And the Dover one really followed suit, and about the next month afterwards, suddenly the Dover car became hard to find, and nobody could get a hold of any. And so, yeah, that one has been kind of trending in the Elite at 245, 250. But again, anything between that, $20 under and over is probably the fair price range, depending on condition. This one looks like the white is a little yellowed just compared to all the other cars. And so I'm hoping that's just part of the race part, but I know 2018, the fall race cars had this clear coat issue where the whites got a little yellowed. I'm not happy about it, but unfortunately that was a trend that we saw. The Brad Keselowski Indy win, got yellowed. Any car from basically the playoff run of 2018 got yellowed that was white. So any white car got yellowed by its clear coat, and yeah, so I think that one may have been affected, but it's not bad enough that it's super obvious, but it does seem a little off just based on the rest of the cars that obviously I have side by side by side by side by side. So yeah, 245 is what I said. I saw that one at. Next on this list is going to be 280, and I believe that one is the 2019 Talladega Win. Same situation. This one got really rare, really fast, but the biggest reason is it's Talladega. Talladega wins are always popular. Most popular driver added on top of that. This is definitely, you know, trending in that direction. It's been going up. 280 is what I saw one of the elites at. I saw a couple others a little higher, a little lower. Kind of on the middle ground at around that 280 mark. 280 might be high. I think 250 is probably realistic, but that's just what the listing showed. So I think that one might kind of been one of those, you know, one-off listings. It's a little higher than it should have been, but for the most part, they are trending upward and have been around or over the $200 mark consistently. So just another one of those Chase Elliott wins that gets rare really quick and then becomes hard to find. So yeah, that one has been trending at that number. So around 200 would be definitely a good deal, but 280 is what the most recent listing that I was showing is at. Alrighty. Sorry about all the coughing, guys. I'm having some trouble here. Just a bug in my throat. Alright, so the next car in this video, I'm making sure I get the right one, and I do. Yes, so the next car in this video is going to be the 2018 Kansas Win. Now, this car was the first real Chase Elliott Grail win sorry, from his Cup career. The rest of the cars on this list are all Xfinity or below racing series wise. I mean, the paint scheme looks good. That's definitely a plus. We got confetti, all that kind of stuff. Mountain Dew is a popular brand. So I was at this race, so I actually have two of these. Funny story. Two of them. That one's probably worth a lot more because I got it signed, but I ain't going nowhere. But yeah. So these have been trending at around 325-ish, and it pretty consistently at 300 to 325 is where I've seen. There were a lot more listings for this car. This car got the rarest the fastest, so people tend to find them cheaper if they can somewhere, and then they'll list them at 320 to 325 and let them sit there until someone buys them. So I have seen more of the listings at that price, but I also have seen them sell at that price. So that's where I'm kind of guessing it at. Again, give or take $20 to $25 in each way. All of that is within reason, depending on condition and all that stuff. So, you know, I said 325, somebody has it listed at 340, might be a little high, but it's not that bad. It's not like he's sitting there saying 600 or something crazy like that. And the same thing, if someone offers you 280 on this car and you have it listed for 310 or 320, you know, he's not lowballing you that badly. Like, it's a fair number. You don't have to accept it by any stretch if you're selling one or something, but it's within reason. You know, if someone offers you $100 for this car, then you can laugh at them and say, no, bud, that's not even within the market. Like, at least, you know, there's margins where you can have a market there. So again, 325 is kind of the base number that I found through listings though. Okay, next on the list is actually, this one went for 350. And I can't tell if that was just a desperation situation or if it's a legitimate one. But this is the 2016 K&N Sonoma Win. And this one, I honestly am confused why it was so high. I have never seen it that high before. But it was the only one I saw listed in the eBay listings at the time, and it sold for that number. So I don't think 350 is accurate. It could be just one desperation buyer thing that kind of sets that little higher. But it did sell for that, so I'm going to put the 350 on there with a caveat that it very easily could be high. I do think this is over 150. If I were to put it on like an auction, it would go for over that. They didn't have a super high production number on these, so they definitely could be lower. Or lower in terms of production number, which means the price could be higher, you know, up to the 200, 250, but 350 seemed really high. It could have been reset, and I just hadn't seen a lot of them, so I just, you know, I'm skeptical, but 350 did seem high, but that is what it showed, was 350. Again, my skeptical voice on it, though, says I think it's lower. That's the number that showed up. So, you know, take that 300 number or 350 number with a grain of salt, because, like I said, even I don't trust that number 100%, but that's just the number that, you know, that I found. So next on the list, and this is only 3 to go. This video is brought to you by nobody, because I'm not sponsored. I just like to drink stuff. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are down to our top 3 cars in the collection. Now, that being said, I want to go ahead and make sure that I let you know what the total, if you were someone like me that has a enjoyment, I guess, of like knowing the value of all your cars. I'm not usually super big onto that, but that being said, it is always fun to know, you know. Let's see here. I have a sketch pad open, so I'm gonna get to it quick. But the last 3 cars, 2 Xfinity cars, and I'm sure everyone has guessed it, the truck, because the truck is very popular, as it should be. It was his first NASCAR win. It's a truck that, you know, that's actually really cool when you can get those. All right, whoa, too slow. Okay. That's not going to work. Oh my gosh, what's this stupid thing doing? Oh, Facebook Messenger is popping open. I'm literally having trouble with this. Okay, we may just skip it and go somewhere else with this. For crying out loud. Yeah, we're just going to do that. All right, anyway, we'll skip that. Phone's malfunctioning, turned into a lemon, so I can't do anything there. Not sure why it's acting like that, but... next car on this list is going to be the 2016 Daytona Xfinity Win. Now, this one I saw trending, I shouldn't say trending, but I saw this one at around 400 online, so it doesn't sound like it's too far off. It did have a fairly low production number. It does kind of fly under the radar because it is, because of what it is. I mean, it's a Xfinity Win, but it was a one-off race. It didn't have, you know, he only ran the scheme, that entire paint scheme, once. So that being said, that is definitely something that it makes it a little bit more rare, harder to find, stuff like that. So that's something that I'm definitely not surprised about. So I definitely think that one at 400 is a pretty accurate number. But again, there was only 1 Elite for sale, but the ARCs were trending pretty high as well. So because the ARC and Elite have vastly different detail differences, I do think the Elite's probably worth about that 400 number. So I do consider that an accurate number. And yeah, so that one comes in at number 3 at 400. Now, going to our top 2, these are now no surprise to anybody that's, you know, and knows the diecast community well. If you don't, that's perfectly fine and normal. You know, if you're not a big Chase Elliott fan, then I wouldn't expect that to be common knowledge, but it is fairly well known amongst any Elliott fan and most, you know, super high knowledge diecast collectors. But the truck and the Homestead car, those are considered the 2 big grails for Chase Elliott, or the 2 of the big grails. So I'm going to pull the truck out first. This is the truck from, excuse me, from his first win. This truck, there was 2 versions made. There was the clean version. That one was made when he first, you know, ran it. And then, of course, when he won the race, they offered the raced version, which, you know, for people like me is very popular. So when they offered that one, the raced version and the clean version both are currently trending around $550. And I know it sounds really high. Excuse me. Oh, I need more water. But around $550 is what these have been trending at. I don't think that's going to come down much. That's just kind of where they're at. Thank goodness I got this one and the clean version together for around that $525 a couple years back when they weren't quite so high, because it would be a very painful thing to have to spend that much on a car. Now, don't get me wrong. If you really need it for your collection, it's the last one. I get it. It's just hard, you know, to have that, you know, be the last one like that. So, but yes, that one is currently trending at around the $550 mark. The big notice, or the big difference, I'm just gonna let you know right now between this one and the clean version, because it is sometimes hard to tell. Well, besides the obvious race detail there, but the other one is the splitter. The splitter is white on the clean version. It is black on the raced version. So black splitter on the raced version, white splitter on the clean version. All right, guys. We are down to our final car to show, and this is going to be probably the holiest of the holy grails. Now, this is probably one of the top 3 most valuable diecasts ever. I could be wrong on that. You know what? I don't want to say that. I do think it's top 5, but I don't know enough about older diecasts to know what they're worth. I know sprint car diecasts regularly go for a lot, things like that. So I don't want to say, but for NASCAR, from what limited, but I consider it limited, but I'm pretty happy with my amount of knowledge. But with that knowledge that I have, I'm going to say this is probably one of the top 5, certainly, and could easily be in the top 2 all-time highest valued diecasts. And so this one is going to be the 2014 Chase Elliott dual autographed Homestead Elite. The right side is all damaged up. It is dual autographed with Chase Elliott and Greg Ives. They only made 309, I believe, of these. 309. Lowest production number of any Chase Elliott car in existence, for all I know. I believe there's a Snowball Derby custom out there that has a pretty low production number, but it's not a main NASCAR series win, so I don't know that that one has the crazy values that the rest do. But for sure, I know that this one, because of the low production number, the dual autograph, and this one, when it first came out, like when it first was available for pre-order, it sold out in a couple of hours, and nobody could get them since. And right off the bat, when they first came out, boom, they're worth $200 to $300. Right off the bat when they first came out. Then they started going up, and that's when I decided to buy this. Now, I'm full disclosure, when I bought this car, I bought it at a price of $525. That is the most expensive diecast I have ever bought, was this car right here. And I don't regret it one bit. So, but it was very expensive, $525 for this car in 2017, 2018, early 2018, somewhere in that range. This car currently, from what the last and most recent eBay sold listing showed, went for $1,650. $1,650 was the most recent sale price. I've seen them go as high as $2,000. So these are going for an awful lot. Now again, only 309 made. Very rare car, dual autograph, all that stuff. And so, with that being said, that is a big price tag. I totally understand people that don't want to pay that number for it. But if you really want it, unfortunately, if someone is asking $2,000 for this car, it's not an unfair number. You can always offer them $1,625 on up and hope they take it, but if you offer anything under $1,500, you're probably not in the market range, and you probably won't get it. So the fair market range, because of how expensive it is probably around that $1,650 mark to $2,200. $2,200 would be on the real high end if it's a perfect car, like never opened or something. But in general, that it's a big range, but that's about that range it's going to be in. So again, I know it's expensive. That I paid $500. I'm very happy I got it when I did, because if I had waited, that would not have been good. So, yes, if you are a person who waited, I'm sorry, because it's gonna suck. But yes, they are very expensive cars. So that's just where these line up. But that is number 1 on my list, most valuable diecast in my collection. Now, that being said, I'm sure you just heard me read off all those numbers, all the potential prices. Some of them are kind of, guesstimated and whatnot. But I'm sure you're all a little curious to know, what's the total? If I took those estimate numbers and said, how much is my Chase Elliott race win collection worth? Let me stipulate real quick. Every Cup win is an Elite. Every Xfinity win is an Elite. Truck wins are truck wins. You can't get multiple variants. And then the late model is a late model. You can't get a variety for that, or the Sonoma car. So those are normal. There's no variety for the trucks or the Sonoma car. Sorry, trucks or late models. Like those varieties of cars, no choice. There's no high end, low end. Everything else is the Elite, the higher end, better detail. So if you have the all Elite collection, as I do, the number I have come up with is $6,600 is what the value of that collection is. Now again, I'm no expert. I'm literally a guy that just enjoys this hobby. So that number could be off by a lot, but I just wanted to make sure I'm sure people are curious. So that's the number that I have that at, or I have guesstimated it to. So you can let me know in the comments if you think that's high, low, fair, medium, large, all of the above. But that's the number I came up with. I can get a group shot, I guess, quick before the video ends. But you can see there's all the cars listed out. There's all the cases. I'm going to get them put back in their cases tonight. I'm putting 2 videos together at a time with these. So while I had them out, I decided to make a couple. But anyway, that will pretty much wrap up the video. Let me know your thoughts if you think my values are accurate. If you're commenting on this a year later, sorry, but I can't predict the future, so but at least anyone that comments in the first week, we can talk about it there. So but yeah, put your stuff in the comments. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. I hope you learned something if you were looking for some info on that. If you didn't, sorry, but anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Race Craze, and I hope you all have a wonderful week.